a little thing for you. And you can come right here. Okay, come on. Over here. See? Oh, you went right past it. Oh, okay. Well, that wasn't really what I was intending, but that works too. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're doing something nice and easy. I'm still trying to get into the swing of... Okay, cut. So like I was saying, hello, welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be nice and easy, hopefully short, because I have a busy week this week, don't really have a ton of time to film and edit. So yeah, I thought that I would just give you guys like a little update on some of the videos I have done in the last few weeks. There are 4 videos, I believe, that this video is going to reference. So I'm just going to go in order. So the first video is the video where I posted about notching, and I will throw up the thumbnail now so that you know which video to look for. In this video, I kind of just showed you how I have propagated things in the past without necessarily having to fully chop it. I would give that one a watch if you want to see how that's done. So I actually have 4 plants to update you on from that video. So the first one is just going to be the philodendron postazanum that I showed you that I had previously notched. I didn't do it on camera. It was one that I did off camera and then just kind of showed you how I did it. So this is her now. I showed you in that video that I notched it several times. I think I notched it 3 times or 4 times along this stem. 2 of the little plastic sheets fell out. So this one right here, oh, can't really see it. Come on. That one right there, you can kind of see the scar from it where it's healed. And then also here, where are you? Right there. It fell out, so that one healed on itself too. And to be honest, all of the growth along the stem kind of just stopped. Like you can see this one had started to come out and it was actually getting a lot bigger and then it just stopped. Same with this guy right here. Oh, you can't see anything. After I notched it, like the auxiliary buds started to get really bright green. It looked like it was gonna do something. Then it just stopped. But what it did do is activate a growth point way down below, so you can see the new plant that has grown from it at the bottom. So this specific plant that I notched didn't quite do what I had intended for it to do, but it did something. And this is not really where I wanted the new growth, but it kind of just shows you that notching does activate some growth along the stem. I've had more luck activating growth in the areas that I want on arborist plants, so like trees, rubber trees, fiddly figs, Dracaena marginatas, which I will show you shortly. But yeah, here's just an update on this postazanum. Honestly, I'm only really keeping this for project purposes with my gloriosums, with my philodendron SP, what is it, Silver, Columbia, El Guapo, with those plants, and my McDowell. I've kind of already satisfied that like big leafy philodendron craving, I guess. So this isn't quite doing it for me anymore, but I've kept it around just because it was such a good stem to work with, to kind of just do a little experiment and project with you guys. So we'll see if I keep this around. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, that is that plant. So also in that video, I showed you my little, and I'll throw in some footage here of my philodendron colellae round. So this one was the plant, just to remind you, it was the plant that like kept aborting leaves as it started to grow in. And all of the new leaves that would come in would just completely, like it would start to come out of the cataphyll and then it would just like mush, like it wouldn't fully come out, it would just like die before it could fully emerge. So I ended up with the longest stem of all time. So I did this little setup where I kind of air layered it with a cup and got the top to root, and then on camera I chopped the top off. So here is the top of that plant, still in the same vessel that it was in. It's getting even more rooted now. It's in a mixture of soil, tree fern fiber, and pon. And yeah, haven't really had a ton of action since it's been chopped. I think it's had 2 new leaves since then. This one is just now starting to unfurl. So this one is doing okay. And then the bottom cutting, on camera, I showed you guys how I notched that one as well. And we did have some success. So here is the growth on the bottom, and you can see where I have my little notch plus the plastic. But just to be fully like transparent, this probably isn't the best example of notching, just because I did chop off the top. So chopping off the top is gonna activate some growth. I'm sure you guys know that. That's how we get our propagations. Yeah, I mean, it worked, whether it was chopping the top off or it was this notch, or maybe a combination of both. We now have a little tiny plant here. But yeah, just wanted to let you guys know. It's looking back now, it probably isn't the best example to show you, just because I did chop the top off. And then also in that video, I did try and, well, I did not try, I did. I notched my Anthurium clarinervium. I won't show you guys videos of that. You guys can just watch the video, but this was the clarinervium that I notched, and we didn't really have anything that happened. It kind of just, I don't know, it was sort of like pushing them out, like it was like rejecting them. I don't know what it was. There was only one that decided to stay, and that one really didn't do anything. It didn't activate any axillary buds. The other notch that I made, which I can't even find anymore, I don't even know where it is, but yeah, it would be basically fully healed now. Like, it's so healed that I can't even see where I would have notched it. I'm thinking it was maybe somewhere down here, but I have no clue. It's sealed up now. So that did not work. But like I mentioned in the video, the only time I've really had success activating bottom growth on an Anthurium is by breaking off that cataphyll. And I didn't do that on purpose, I did it on accident, and it sort of just happened. So after the first time that happened, it's happened maybe 2 more times, and it did activate growth down at the bottom. So yeah, that's all I can say at this point. But this notching of the clarinervium was not a success, and honestly, I'm probably just gonna take this out now because I don't think it's gonna do anything. But she's still alive, she's happy. I was telling you guys that, like, I feel like I'm just kind of getting lucky with my clarinervium at this point. I don't really feel like it's anything that I'm necessarily doing right that is keeping it alive. I don't know, I'm riding this wave for as long as I can, and I'm enjoying it. So no complaints here. The next, or the last plant that I'm gonna show you from this one video is my Dracaena marginata. Like I said, I'm just gonna throw in some footage here and use my iPhone. So in that video, I was showing you where I had notched it before. I told the whole backstory of why the plant looks like that, so I won't repeat myself. And when I filmed this video, all of the new growth was kind of still just emerging, and it was like really brand new. So a bit of time has passed since then, and it's looking a lot more lush now. Like, it's looking like a real plant again, and it was so sad for so long, to the point where I almost threw it out. And I had to tell myself and like remind myself how much I love this plant and how it's just going through like a bit of growing pains right now. So the reason why it looks like, or why it looked like that, and why it still kind of looks like that now, just not as noticeable, is because it has spider mites. Whenever I post about this plant on YouTube, I do get less than a handful of comments that are just like, you know, I love my Dracaena marginata, but I just could not keep the spider mites off it. It was just a pest magnet. And I am finding that that is my experience with this plant too. I mean, you guys know that I've been dealing with spider mites with pretty much all of my plants. I thought that that one would be safe from all of my other plants because it's always kind of been alone. Like, it's not really a plant that I bunch with a bunch of other plants, but you know, they got to them, and I'm not surprised. And it's a really hard plant to bring into the shower because the pot is so heavy. So right now I'm just kind of spraying it as much as I can. It's kind of hard to wipe the leaves down because of the growth pattern and because of how like skinny the leaves are. But yeah, you can see a bit of yellowing on some of the leaves. You can see some spots, which sucks, but I'm at a point now where I don't freak out when I see spider mites. I find them to be so annoying, but kind of like how I used to be with thrips in terms of panicking and things. I'm sort of, you know, when I see thrips now, it's like nothing. It's like finding, I don't know what analogy I was trying to make, but basically I don't freak out anymore when I see thrips. So kind of the same thing with spider mites. Spider mites are a bit more of a newer pest to me. And so yeah, just not freaking out. I'm just doing the best I can and going with the flow. And so far so good, even despite having pests. She's looking really cute again. I can't wait until some of the growth gets a little bit taller because it's looking a little funky right now, but she's in her glow up era. So anywho, that was the first video, and I've been filming for 12 minutes. I just blew through that. I'm not messing around today, you guys. The next video that I'm going to give some imports on is my last... Did I say give some imports on? What did I say? What I meant to say is the next video that I'm going to giving you guys an update on is from my last import, and that would have been 6 months from now. So in that video, I imported I almost said 4 videos. I can't think today. I imported 4 plants. So the first plant, where are you? Oh, here. The first plant is this weird gangly guy, which kind of looks like nothing. So this is a philodendron bicolor mini purple, and I really honestly didn't know jack crap about this plant. I don't know if it even gets any bigger. And I was telling you guys in that video how underwhelmed I was and how, I don't know, it was just, it lived up to everything that people had told me about it that imported it as well. They were like, don't get that plant, don't get it, it sucks. And unfortunately it was too late. Is there a mushroom? It looks like a mushroom in there. Yeah, it was too late. By then I had already placed my order when the video went up, and I don't know. There's a chance that I might like let this reach the top of the pole, and if I'm not seeing even like the slightest leaf growth, I think I'm going to just put it in like a terrarium, maybe with my maidenhair fern. I don't know, but it's not a plant that I'm just like, I'm like excited about. It's nothing that I, like when a new leaf comes out, I'm just like in the, you know, EXO, like I'm trying to take a peek. I just, to be fully honest, I don't really care. I don't really care much for this plant. It does have a really cool texture. It's not like the ugliest thing, but it's kind of just, it's looking like road grass, and I don't know. I'm just keeping it alive, okay? I don't know what I'm doing with that thing. But she's on the pole. We're gonna see if she grows a bit, if she wants to size up in growth. I don't know. Anyway, the next plant is an anthurium. So this is an anthurium pallidiflorum. And just as a reminder, this one is seemingly different than my pallidiflorum that I have. It's a lot skinnier. If you guys watch Alice's videos, if you guys follow Alice on Instagram, by the way, if I ever mention a name on this channel and like you're new here, you don't know who I'm talking about, if I mention them, I 99% of the time will tag them in the description. So if you have no clue who I'm talking about, and I just say it casually like, oh, Lauren did this or Jing did that or whatever, check the description. You can see who I'm talking about. Anyway, if you follow Alice, you'll see that she bought one from the pop-up that was larger than this, and I think the leaves were probably about this long, and they're just like so skinny and narrow, and they're so beautiful. And this seems to be the same kind as her because like it's just so different than any pallidiflorum that I've ever had. Because like if you even look at the first leaf that it ever grew, it is super skinny and narrow. But like I mentioned, I am not good at growing this plant, and you can already see it's doing the thing that it does when I grow pallidiflorums. It just gets these crispy tips, sort of these like weird misshapen leaves. I do think this is because it was growing against another plant in the plant room while I was away on vacation, but yeah. She's cute. I'm still trying. She is growing in a greenhouse. I'm growing very, very little anthuriums in greenhouses, and they will all eventually move outside of a greenhouse. But while they're acclimating and sort of getting adjusted, I'm just treating them a little bit differently than my other anthurium. But as another reminder, this was the first time that I had acclimated an import with soil. So this is a mixture of soil and tree fern at the recommendation of my friend Amanda. Everything looks really good in here. Lots and lots of new roots. This one wasn't the fastest rooter in terms of like, I don't know, speed after getting it into its new substrate. Sometimes I can see new roots after like a few days. This one took a little bit of time. I was kind of worried, but I had a feeling that it would be okay. So yeah, she's looking really, really good in here. So I'm happy about that. The next one is an Elaphoglossum metallicum. So this one is kind of one of the sadder updates that I have for you today. When I was in California, I had someone looking after my plants. I think they may have missed this one and just didn't see it because it was really like packed in my XO at the very bottom. And yeah, it dried out. Like this was bone dry. The whole thing was like flopped over. It looked really sad. And you can just see how much it shriveled up. It did not like not having water. The newest leaf on it is seemingly unscathed because the two older ones, they took all the beating. I am not seeing any new growth. The stem feels a little bit mushy. I don't know. I actually think this thing might be dying. I'm not 100% sure. Feels a bit mushy. I'm thinking it could be dry rot because it was, again, bone dry and then I just like doused it with water. So I may get it out of here, which kind of sucks because I had just gotten roots on it after water rooting it for what felt like forever, transitioned it to tree fern fiber and soil and pon, and it seemed good. After the transplant, it did not like throw a fit. It didn't go into shock or anything. The sucky thing about the Elaphoglossums are that they have black roots. So even if I did have new roots on this thing, I wouldn't be able to see them. But I do think this is one that I'm going to have to inspect just because the stem is not looking, it's not looking great and it's not feeling great. So I am sad about that because I was kind of sure that I was gonna get a leaf in no time, but that's the risk you take when you go on vacation. It's one of the drawbacks of this hobby is it's hard to get away, and you know, the people who watch your plants, you would assume that they're doing the best that they can, but you can't really have the same expectations for them that you give yourself. So yeah, you just expect some losses. It could be a lot worse. This was a really cheap plant to import. I could also import it again, or I could always import it again if that one does take a crap. And I think I will, just because I really love it. I love the sheen of it. I love the color. It's just such a great plant, and I'd love to see an emergent leaf on it, or I would love to try and grow one myself. So we're not giving up, but yeah. Anyway, the last one from that import is my favorite one, and that is the Anthurium veitchii super narrow. So all of the original import leaves are still on this plant. It has not wavered. It hasn't thrown a fit. It's not done any of that. And this was the new leaf that was emerging when I picked it up from the show. It was about this small. It was all like bent up from being imported, and it eventually straightened itself out, and she is lovely. So not the hugest size jump in the world. This is the second to newest leaf on it. So you can see it's not that much bigger, but we still have a little bit of size difference between two of them. And I'm just, overall, my impressions are that like this plant has been one of the easiest plants to acclimate. Like I feel like I didn't really even need to do anything, and this might be one of the ones that I move out of the XO pretty soon because it is the end of July now. Oh, it's the last day of July. Tomorrow is August, and you know, after September we're gonna start seeing some really, really cold weather. We're gonna lose a lot of sun. So if I'm doing any more acclimatization out of my tents or my XOs, it's probably gonna be around this time. I am a little bit nervous to acclimate this one out just because it's been growing so well. And I don't want to feel almost overly confident because that's really honestly how I'm feeling right now. I'm feeling like, oh, this plant is so easy, it's so low maintenance. And I have heard that it is, and it's grown really well for people in just sort of like regular room conditions. But I don't know. My confidence level with Anthurium, it's just not there yet. I don't know if it ever will be. I think it's one of the things I'm always gonna kind of just be on eggshells with, maybe. But yeah, so far so good. I also acclimatized this in soil and tree fern fiber, and this one has been such a slow freaking rooter. I do have some new roots, as you can see, but definitely not as much as my Poliflorum. And I've had like my eye on this guy right here. I don't know if you can see it. There's like a root right there. That one has been growing at the slowest speed ever since I imported it. And I'm like, I have never seen such slow root growth before. So, I mean, I know it's happy. It pushed out this leaf, it fully hardened. It's pretty much immaculate, and that's not very common around here. So I'm just taking the small wins. I consider this a big win, but we'll see once we get it out of my exo. So the second to last one is from this video, and honestly, I kind of knew that I was gonna regret this, and I did it anyway because I had no more leca. But I repotted my Dicaria madagascariensis into a new vessel, and I used rocks at the bottom. And it's something that I've advised against in the past. I know people do it, but it's just not something that I personally felt comfortable with. But I wanted to get it repotted. I was just, I don't know. I didn't want to just have all soil, so I put rocks. And yeah, it's gone exactly how I knew it would go. So this is the plant now, and I was going to give it a little trim because it's looking a bit sad. So you can see all of this right here is basically dead. And I actually don't think it's from the repot. I think it's from the spider mites. And you guys can maybe see, I don't think you can see it with this lighting, maybe. This plant has just been notorious for spider mites since I've gotten it. I don't really know what they're trying to feast on, like it's all just a bunch of sticks, but they keep coming back. So anywho, besides that, this is just disgusting. Like I hate this. And then look at that. As far as I know, this is just like harmless mold, but I don't typically get stuff like this when I pot in no drainage, and it's just, it gives me the ick. It's all slimy and gunky down here. It never fully dries out, like ever. Not like leca where it's constantly sort of like wicking it up and it can get bone dry. This I hardly ever water and it just never dries out. So the rock thing is not for me. I am definitely going to get this out, and I think I'm gonna do it on camera because I hate it. I hate it. I don't like it. So I don't recommend this. If you are wondering how it went, I'm not gonna lie, it's disgusting. I think this is how you do no drainage the wrong way. And whether the dying plant is from the spider mites or this setup, I don't really know, but all I know is that I need to save it because it's not going good. So that is that. And then the last plant I'm gonna show you is from, honestly, probably one of my favorite videos that I've ever done on YouTube. I don't know how it's performing, to be honest. It's kind of weird, like some videos that like I'm really proud of and that I really enjoyed making that I thought would do well, didn't do well. And then the ones that I kind of just like put up last minute, kind of like my gimmicky plant things, I didn't think that was gonna do well. That was like sort of a last minute sporadic, I was just gonna film it last minute. That one did really well. Anyway, the video in reference is my massive Yucca repot. I'll throw up the thumbnail. Yeah, this one didn't perform that well. It's only at 7.7K views and I posted that 2 months ago, but I had a lot of fun filming this video. I mean, it was tiring, but I don't know, I really enjoyed it. So anyway, I got some comments that were like, that plant's gonna die. You know, just, I don't know. People doubted me, and I was not defensive because honestly, I had no idea how it was gonna go. Like I said, I had no experience with this plant in the past. It was a very, very invasive repot. I literally took a knife to it. I did a massive root trimming. I had one of them that was completely rootless and just did not, you know, it had nothing when I put it into soil, and it rooted. So let me show you what it looks like now. I was fully expecting this thing to throw a little bit of a tantrum after that repot. I would have expected at least some yellowing leaves, maybe some yellowing tips or browning tips, some drooping or something. But guys, for everyone that left a comment saying that like yuccas are one of the most resilient plants out there, you've left me a story saying that you did this and that to your yucca and it came back full force, you were not kidding. This plant has the will to live, and I have like so much appreciation for it because of it. Not only is it growing, but it's like kind of thriving, which makes me so happy because like I said in that video too, I get really nervous when I inherit these sort of like heirloom plants that someone has grown over years and years and years, and then I take it in hoping, I mean with the best intentions, hoping to like give it a new lease on life or give it a second chance at life, and then end up killing it, because I have done that many times in the past, and those ones are always the most painful deaths for me. But this yucca has just, again, had the will to live. It's doing so amazing in my house. I really have nothing else to say about it besides the fact that it's just been extremely resilient. I feel hesitant taking any credit for it just because, like, just based on what people have said, it is a really strong plant. Like, it can handle a lot of like stressors and things like that. So yeah, it's doing good, and I'm happy because it's been such a great addition to the house. I love seeing it. It makes me feel more at home because it's reminiscent of, you know, the plants that I grew up with in California and things like that. So yeah, I really love it. I still haven't found a proper pot for it, but honestly, it's like black, and because there's so much going on and I've put this like long Ripsalis hanging over it, it doesn't really bother me anymore. It just kind of looks like it fits, or it just makes sense. So it might be the permanent pot, I don't know. Anyway, I have been recording for 31 minutes, meaning this video is probably gonna be like 20 to 25 minutes long, which is gonna be a new record for me. I'm sorry to everyone that enjoys the long videos. I do enjoy making the long videos. I try and get long videos in, but as my schedule gets busier, just depending on what it's looking like, I can't always like deliver these 1 hour plus long videos, and this week is definitely going to be one of those weeks. But I hope you enjoyed seeing some updates. We had some good and some bad. I do plan on doing an update on some of my more recent repots, or like the last few repots that I did, including Nick's plants, but I haven't had a chance to get downstairs yet or meet up with him. So from what he's told me, all of the plants that I repotted are doing really well. They have fully rooted, they're growing again, except the Albo. And I'm sad because that was the one that I kind of felt like the most confident about that one for some reason, and it just hated it. It's completely out of the vessel now. I just have it in water, it's in my tent. So we're struggling, but yeah, that one's definitely giving me a run for my money. It's probably been one of the more challenging elbows that I've had to reroot in like the last year or two. So can't always win them, but like I said, from what he's told me, everything is doing well. But I would like to kind of show you guys what they look like now, but that won't be for a while, but it's in the works. So anywho, that's gonna wrap it up for today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up because it helps us a lot on YouTube. Thank you guys for being here, and I will see you in the next one.